Hi everyone! In this video, we're going to talk about how to play Old Joe Clark. That's the second song in Recorder Karate 2. So again, first thing you do, look up here for your pitches. We've got C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, and high C. The next thing you want to do is go down to the bottom of the page, and there's a lot of new information. So Recorder Karate 2 is a lot harder than book 1, so you're learning a lot of new things in here. So the first thing we're going to work on is how to play low C. And that's right there. It has its own special line below the treble clef. This is the very lowest note that your recorder can play. So all fingers down. The more fingers down in general, especially for these low notes, the lower the pitch is going to be. So low C is all down. You've got that added challenge with these two fingers of making sure that your holes are covered correct all the way, completely. If you're having trouble with that, you can always rotate the bottom joint of the recorder a little bit. So this comes apart into 3 pieces. Also good to know for washing. You want to make sure you're washing your recorder regularly. Soap and hot water is absolutely fine, and then just shake it out and air dry it. So you can adjust that and turn it a little bit if your pinky isn't quite reaching. Feel free to do that. As with all of the low notes we've learned about, lower notes, you want to make sure that you are using very little air. You might think lower note, more air, but actually the opposite is true. If you use too much air on these low notes, it's going to squeak up. So this is what it should sound like. And I've got all my fingers down. Now if I give even just a little bit more air, here's what happens. And it squeaks up and it kind of goes up to the high C, but it's a little bit sharp and it doesn't sound real nice. So there we go. So you want to make sure that you practice playing that. All your fingers are down and you're using very little air pressure. Okay, you can always practice fogging up a window to draw a picture on it. Sorry, parents. But you can do that, and that will help you to use the correct amount of air. It's really not very much air that you need. Okay, another new thing we have in here is our time signature. So 2, 4, how many, what kinds? 2 is the how many, 2 beats per measure. 4 is the what kind, quarter note gets the beat. We've got our key signature here telling us all our Fs are sharp. That's still in the book the only F we have learned. So it's the F that you know. We also have a new rhythm in here. So we have dotted 8th notes to a 16th note. So 16th note, we use lots of fractions in music here. Hope you paid attention in math. 16th note gets half the value of an 8th note, right? So we're just kind of having as we're going down. So an 8th note gets half a beat, and that means that a 16th note only gets a quarter of a beat. So when you're counting 8th notes, dotted 8th notes, and 16ths, the dotted 8th gets 3/4 of a beat. Again, we're taking the note, we're adding half its value back on, and that's the value of the dotted note. So dotted 8th is 3/4 of the beat, and the 16th note is 1/4 of the beat. And we're going to count, when we have 16th notes, 1 E-enda, 2 E-enda, 3 E-enda, 4 E-enda. So when we have quarter notes, we're just 1, 2, 3, 4, 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 16ths, 1 E-enda, 2 E-enda, 3 E-enda, 4 E-enda. So when you're clapping that, it's going to sound 1 E-enda, 2. Da, da, da. Kind of uneven. Da, da. Da, da, da. Maybe even just a little bit jazzy there. So we've got that in there. Other than that, you should be able to do this. I think you know everything else here. First thing you're going to do, name your notes out of rhythm. Secondly, name your notes in rhythm. Third, do the fingers for the notes while saying them. So for the beginning of this, that would be A, B, C, B, A, G, F sharp. Okay, try that again in rhythm because I almost started singing the ABCs there. Oops. A, B, C, B, A, G, F sharp. Okay, making sure that you are covering F sharp for that with these 2 fingers. Same finger always covers the same hole for recorder. So these 2 go right here. We're not using the pointer and sliding it down. And this piece is nearly impossible to play if you do that, because it's quick and there's a lot of times where you're going from the D to the F sharp. So D to F sharp, much easier to do it this way than to try and slide anywhere. Again, if you're struggling with the whole piece, slow it down, use a metronome. Nifty little app that you can get, does not cost a thing, and it keeps the beat for you, and you can set the tempo wherever you're comfortable. So you can use the metronome to speed up slowly. If you're having trouble with a little part, just isolate that little part and work on it so that we're practicing smart and not long. I don't want you to practice hours upon end. I want you to use your practice time wisely and effectively. I'm going to play this one for you out of sight, as I mentioned in the last video. And here we go. This is Old Joe Clark. So I got just a little squeaky there at the end. But if you have any questions, you can always send me an email. I hope to see you on Zoom soon. Take care, everyone.